Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I am so blessed and honored to be here at the North Texas Food Bank live with my friends Cassie and Cody. Cody Myers, Cassie Collins. How are y'all doing today?
Doing great. Excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Y'all want to have some fun with food?
Every day.
Every day.
Are we allowed to have fun?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to have fun. Today is the last Wednesday of Hunger Action Month. As you know, if you've been watching Love and Reload, we've been doing something Hunger Action Month related every day, every Wednesday. So we did our big fundraiser last week. You know, we came to you live from an aircraft carrier in San Francisco where we did a truck pull to raise money for Move for Hunger. Last week we raised $52,000 in our telethon here on the show, which was awesome. Thank you so much for giving. Those of you who gave, you will get a hat like this.
Okay.
I know, right, Cody?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Do I get one?
Y'all give snapbacks over here. Can we make sure Cassie gets a hat? Donate today so Cassie can have a hat, please. Stacey, run that for everybody in case they need the link there. Get live in the comments for us. Hit that like button right now. Let us know you are out there. Let us know who you are, where you are, and how you support Hunger Action Month, whether it's donating to our Move for Hunger fundraiser, whether it's going to your local food bank and getting involved. Let us know how you get involved. And I want to ask, I mean, what are some of the ways that people get involved? We got people behind us right now.
Yeah, they're literally
what are they
volunteering
doing
right now.
What are they doing?
Cassie, that's all you.
Cassie?
That's all me. So the food bank started because of volunteers, and it continues because of volunteers. And what you're seeing out there on our production floor is they're packing fresh produce that will go out to our food insecure neighbors. And so every day we host about 200 volunteers. One shift in the morning. Every day. And that's just what you're seeing on the production floor. So we have a morning shift and then we have an afternoon shift. And so, like I said, today they're actually packing produce bags. But in other instances, it might be a box for families that is just dry, about 25 to 40 pounds, depending on which day, that will go directly out to our neighbors. Then we might be packing bags for kiddos that will go to food insecure kiddos in their schools, that they can take home a bag that will go, that will be able to help them over the weekend, also for our seniors. So anyway, so what you're seeing today is all produce, and there's about 75 or so volunteers that are out there, some that are from corporations and others that are just unique individuals like you and I that choose to come here and volunteer their time.
Well, you are a unique individual.
I am a unique individual.
I always say
yes,
that about
yes.
you. What unique individuals are behind us today? What company is back there right now?
Actually, it's two of my companies that I recruited to come today. Super excited to have our friends from Amazon. We have a few Amazon.
Hey, can we get a round of applause for Amazon?
Super excited.
For sure.
And then another one, Ntfd Data is here, and they actually are celebrating Hunger Action Month with us today, not just by volunteering, but they're in the middle of a fundraiser themselves.
Oh, okay.
Every September here at the North Texas Food Bank, we do a peanut butter drive for our program.
I'm getting hungry now. You're talking about peanut butter.
Is like one of our most requested items by our neighbors. And
now, why is peanut butter so hot?
Well, peanut butter is hot because A, it's delicious. It is kid friendly.
Yes.
And it's nutrient dense. So and shelf stable. It checks all of the boxes.
Those were words often used to describe me as well. Actually, nutrient dense and shelf stable. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm not looking at the comments right now on Ben's screen, but if you're a crunchy or a creamy person, we always like to know that.
Can we do that right now? I want to know right now, are you a crunchy or creamy person? Put it in the comments right now.
I'm a creamy person myself.
Yeah, you know what? I used to be a crunchy person, and I think I've converted. You know, you get allergies later in life.
Yeah.
I think not peanuts. I know it's too no, but I think I've become a creamy person. Is it creamy or crunchy for you, Cassie?
Oh, totally creamy. And I'm very particular about my brand of peanut butter too.
Okay.
I hope it's not Jif.
It's Skippy.
Oh, yes.
I love Skippy peanut butter. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
a Skippy person or what's your?
Usually I am a Jif person, but we're still waiting for that plant to come back online.
Oh.
So we're anxiously awaiting because that peanut butter supply is so important to
It
us.
is.
Do we have peanut butter plants offline? I need to know. We've got Julie Coleman saying creamy person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Team creamy.
where are the crunchies at? Where are my crunchy people at? I want to know. Jana Chezanowski coming to us from Brazil.
Oh,
Loving
wow.
to see the action behind y'all. Yeah, totally. When it comes to donating though,
Yeah.
is it like creamy, like only like because
So
is
we
it
take
more popular? Or
we
what's
take
up?
all
Mhm.
nut butters during September as part of the
Mhm.
campaign. Obviously, crunchy and creamy; those are two staples that everyone enjoys. But we also realize and recognize that there are some kiddos with food allergies, so
Yeah.
we want to make sure that we're cognizant of that whenever we're packing the food, but also when we're aggregating that.
Is there
that
like
those
a nut
donations.
butter that's less allergic that is more?
Ooh, I'd have to ask our nutrition
Okay.
team on that one
Okay.
because I am blessed to not have
Yeah,
an allergy
right?
to
Thank you,
peanuts.
Jesus himself.
And interesting enough, on the peanut butter, this Friday, the Great State Fair of Texas is going to be opening. That's opening
Let's
day.
go. Yes. Hello,
Yes.
State Fair of Texas, biggest and best in the country.
Absolutely, it is. And so we have a big peanut butter drive out there. And so we will be at each and every one of the gates, and people can come in and bring us 2 jars of peanut butter, and they get in for $10.
So if you're in Texas, the great state of Texas, the Republic, if you are in Texas, I visited the Alamo recently. Can you
Yes.
tell? If
May
you're,
we always remember.
we always remember. Shout out to the Alamo. If you're in Texas, go check out the state fair and bring 2. Is it just?
It's just 2 jars of peanut butter, and you get in for $10. We do.
Is
for
that the whole time the fair is?
No.
going on, or just
That
for
is
one?
just for Friday. It
Just
is
for
opening
Friday,
day.
y'all.
We will be out there for other Wednesdays, but on those days, it's 5 cans. Just any can, green
Okay.
beans, corn, whatever,
Okay.
for $5. But
All
Friday
right.
is peanut butter. Bring me your peanut butter.
Bring us your peanut. That should have been on the Statue of Liberty. Bring us your peanut butter, your huddled masses, yearning to eat free. Adam Lowy, the founding director of Move for Hunger, is checking in. Love the live from the food bank. Hit that like button out there. Send some. Look, Mike Quigley's getting in it. Skippy honey roasted.
Oh, yes,
Oh.
they do have all the
I
fancy
don't
flavors.
know about that.
Okay, I need to retract. I said that I like creamy. I really just like Nutella.
Yes.
Like,
Is that
that's
really
really-
a nut butter or is it chocolate in
I
a
mean,
jar?
it's hazelnut.
That's hazelnut and chocolate.
It's enough for
What's
me.
the
in my
ratio
diet.
of hazelnuts to chocolate in a jar? My kids eat Nutella like crazy. They were eating it in the family room the other day. One of them spilled it on the carpet, and I thought he had an accident. I'll tell you what, Nutella is not a food to eat without a napkin and a plate handy. It's bad news. We've got India checking in. Radhika checking in from India. What's up, Radhika? Good to see you out there. Radhika, is there anything in India? I'm sure there's some unique challenges in India. Is there anything you do from a Hunger Action Month standpoint in India to support? I'd love to know. Adam saying, yeah, there's many alternatives to nut butters to choose from these days. Let us know, Adam. Put a full comprehensive list in there, please. Thank you so much. He's the one to know. And John is saying, crunchy person. Is peanut butter a thing in Brazil? I don't know. I thought it was like kind of a big U.S. thing.
I don't know.
Is
Is it available? Our friends in
Somebody check.
Someone was from Brazil earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Jana's from Brazil. She's a crunchy person. But is that from your time in Florida and West Virginia, or do you actually? Love to know. I want to know. Let's talk a little bit about the North Texas Food Bank here, because y'all have an amazing facility.
Thank you.
I'm super impressed, with it. Tell us a little bit about how the food bank got started.
Yeah. So we're celebrating our 40th anniversary this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So 40 years of fighting hunger here in North Texas. We actually are started by 4 women founders, which is really unique to us. You would not be surprised because this food banking really started in the 80s across the country, looking at grocery stores who were throwing out immense amounts of waste of perfectly good food that could have been consumed by our neighbors in need. And that's just what happened here. We had some partnerships with local grocers. If anyone is from North Texas and remembers the Minyards brand, Minyards was where we first started rescuing groceries from. The founder at the time and her friend looked and saw it was kind of like this weird juxtaposition of all of this waste at the grocery store. But as they were driving down the streets of Dallas, they saw all of these neighbors who were, looking for a place to get food.
Right.
And so they were like, there has to be a way that we can remedy that. So 40 years later, here we are. We are one of the largest food banks in the country. Sadly, in our service area, we're a member of Feeding America. Shout out to our Feeding America friends who are at in Washington, D.C. today. We're actually super excited
What
that y'all are
in
here.
DC?
Well, I know all of your viewers are also watching C-SPAN to watch the White House.
Simultaneously.
Yes,
Yeah.
every day watching C-SPAN. But the White House is actually holding its first in, I think, 40 years, 50 years, summit on hunger. So we're actually we have one of our staff members who's there. We brought a neighbor from North Texas from one of our partner agencies, and they're testifying on the effects of hunger here in North Texas.
Wow.
So I know that you guys are flipping back and forth between C-SPAN and this.
Please don't leave the program right now to go watch C-SPAN.
It's very exciting stuff.
Okay, so that's the origins.
Yeah.
I love it. And that's also, kind of the origin story of Move for Hunger, right? Where we saw this food that was able to be rescued, and shout out again to Adam and his group out there. And so now flash forward 40 years, what does the food bank do?
Yeah, so I like to akin us to a large nonprofit logistics company.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a misconception when people come here for the first time that this is a large food pantry. And it's not that we will turn someone away. Actually, as I was walking down here today, a family came in looking for food assistance. We have some emergency rations that we can hand them while we find them a partner. But we actually network with 400 food pantries, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, and other community feeding sites to distribute the immense amount of food that we aggregate. So if you look at us like Amazon, shout out to Amazon behind us.
So you're like the Amazon of food.
Yes, we are aggregating massive amounts of food, massive quantities of food, and distributing it out through a network of partners.
So you're kind of like a distribution center.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is our distribution center for the 13 counties we're in. And it's a very data-driven approach. Nothing here happens haphazardly. So we're excited to continue to serve our community. Like I mentioned, we have those 13 counties that we partner with Feeding America on the eastern side of the Metroplex. That's another big misconception. Our name since inception has been the North Texas Food Bank. And when you or I think of North Texas, you would think Dallas-Fort Worth.
Right.
There is a sister food bank. So if you're on the western side of the Metroplex, you can check out the Tarrant Area Food Bank. They have equal opportunities there to volunteer, donate, get involved. But we're here on the eastern side and serving those 13 counties. Not fun fact, kind of sobering fact, actually. 700,000 neighbors in those 13 counties we serve don't know where their next meal is coming from. That's 1 in 8.
That gives me kind of like chills, it really brings it home. You know? And 1 in 8 is actually better than the national average, I believe. Because there's a lot of times we hear 1 in 6 in some parts of the country, right? So 700,000 is a very serious number of people who are food insecure.
Yeah, if you're looking at the Feeding America service areas, all of the food banks that they partner with, there's 200 of those. We are the 4th most food insecure area in the country, just our 13 counties. If you added that Tarrant Area Food Bank in there, we would be the 3rd, right behind New York City and LA.
Wow.
And I always tell everyone that no matter what zip code you live in, because we all identify by the zip codes we live in, right?
Yeah.
But no matter what zip code you live in, no matter where you work, you know somebody who is food insecure. You might not know who that person is, but I guarantee you have a coworker, you have a neighbor, you have somebody that you go to church with. There is somebody out there that is food insecure.
What do we do about that? And shout out to everybody watching right now. If you're watching right now, hit that like button. Send a little love out here to the 13 counties that are part of the Ntfd. Cassie, what do we do? I mean, there's people in our lives that are food insecure. We may know, we may not know. What can we do about it?
We stand in the gap for them. That's what the North Texas Food Bank does. Whether you're coming out to volunteer, and sometimes we have people that come in to volunteer who have been helped by our very resources, who just want to give back. So that's what the North Texas Food Bank is here to do, to provide that that resource to the food pantries who are literally within the communities that they're serving. So, that's what we're here to do is stand in that gap, whether that's volunteering, whether that's giving financial resources, whether that's giving your time, whether it's here at the North Texas Food Bank or within the pantry, your community. I know, I live 70 miles from here. And so I know that there is a pantry that is giving out food every Sunday afternoon that I can go volunteer at that is literally just a couple of miles from my house.
Wow.
We have our mobile pantries that are able to go out into other communities that may not have those pantries that are right there to be able to provide those resources. So, we do everything that we can to make for certain that our food insecure neighbors eventually get out of that they have that hope for tomorrow.
That's interesting.
I think I would just add for your viewers, the face of hunger could look like anyone at this table. It could look like anyone on this.
Well, not me, but you guys maybe.
But it really could look like anyone. So I think one way that we can help our neighbors is when we are in a situation when we need to ask for help, when we need to have our hand out to get a hand up, is ask for help. We saw that so much during the pandemic. 40% of people who were turning to us had never relied on charitable food assistance before. And there's just this stigma that asking for help is bad. But that's what we're here to do. We were literally built to fill that gap in our community. So if you or someone that needs food assistance, there are places to help. And please don't add to that stigma saying that, I'm too proud to get food assistance. I'm too proud to go to my food pantry. That's literally what we're here to do.
Yeah. Very cool. We have people who are looking to help right now.
That's awesome.
Drew Phillips, we got great comments coming in here. We got great comments. I want to honor those comments real quick here. It looks like peanut butter is a fairly unique thing to the United States. Thank you, Jana, and our international folks for that. We have clarification that Ben Cross is greater than C-SPAN.
Okay.
Which isn't saying much because one person watches C-SPAN.
It was me.
People are
it's
watching.
Still on my laptop.
It's still going right now. We're streaming the testimony. Drew saying, I'm glued in. I ain't leaving. All right. Appreciate you. Mississippi's in the house. Hey, Jamie Massler. Appreciate you. Such a great cause. Yes, it is. And Drew's asking, this is a great segue, how can we support the Ntfd from afar?
Well, there are a few different ways. If you're afar and you can't come and volunteer, obviously giving financial resources is going to go the farthest for us. So here at the North Texas Food Bank, every dollar that's donated will provide 3 nutritious meals to a neighbor facing hunger here in North Texas. Obviously, because we're able to aggregate all of this food.
So $1, 3 meals?
Yes.
And we got to eat at that restaurant. I'll tell you what, I'm looking for that. Hey, who wants to go to lunch? Okay. So if I've got some dollars burning a hole in my pocket right now, I can make a monetary. Is there a small contribution level that's too small that you won't accept? Okay.
No, we
is there a contribution level that's too big?
Not for me. I work in major gifts.
What is a major gift?
So here at the North Texas Food Bank, that's $25,000 annually.
Money was annually. Okay.
Yes.
So Drew, you want to talk to Cody? I probably just want to log in to the website, which is below ntfb.org/give. Drew, if you want to get in on the website, you can go to ntfb.org/give. It's scrolling along the bottom. I know you can't click it. I know the limitations of the internet, but it's very short. ntfb.org/give. Hit that up. Can you give on the site?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good, because I'm sitting cool.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then the other thing is, because I like to play games.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we're game players here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'm a little bit of a gambler. I'm not gonna lie. No, don't tell my wife.
That's okay.
Are you giving your big money to us?
I am. Well, it ain't big. It ain't Cody big, but it's significant. It's Cassie big. It's Cassie big. Okay. So I'd like to do is do y'all have some trivia? Maybe we could play a little trivia game.
Okay.
Maybe we could play a little low stakes trivia.
Okay.
I say low stakes, high stakes for me, low stakes for you. You know what? I'll do this. I will. If you have some questions, maybe you could ask me.
Cassie, yeah, I think
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then what I'll do is for every question I get right, I will donate $100.
Okay.
For every question I get wrong, I'll donate $200.
Oh, Okay, there you go.
We could put it with our volunteer match too.
Yeah,
Ooh,
there
we
you
got
go.
a volunteer
We got
match.
a volunteer
Hey,
match.
hold on. And speaking of volunteer match, hey, Drew Phillips, he says, I'm in. Thank you. Drew, do you want to match my contribution? Let's give Drew 30 seconds to think
Okay.
about this.
I
Drew.
think it's a good bet. You should take that, Drew.
Yeah, Drew, do you want to match this contribution, Drew? Put it in there. If anybody else wants to match my contribution, look at Jeff sweating over here. He's like, man, this can make our quarter, guys. All right, let's get this right here, okay? If you want to match my contribution right now, we have 5 questions. I'm going to donate $100 for every question I get right, and I'll donate $200 for every question I get wrong. Let's see here. This is fun.
I have to hide my sheet because the sheet has the answers.
Alexandra Marcus Sales says this episode is wonderful. Thank you all. Yes, thank you so much to Cody and Cassie and everyone here at the food bank here. Brandy Thorne is saying, hi, everyone. My local food bank helps so many. Also, it takes a small volunteer contribution to make a difference. Encourage your companies to give volunteer hours for your team to help in the community. Yes, I want to talk about how we do that. And Megan saying such a fantastic broadcast. Thank you so much. Hit that like button, hit that support button, send a little love out to your local food bank. Drew, I'm getting kind of crickets from you right now. Are you out there, Drew? Do you want to match my does anyone else want to match my contribution or make a similar contribution? Jamie, would you like to step up here at all? I know we got some deep pockets out there. I mean, not your kind of deep, but we got some
Cassie
deep
deep.
pockets. Cassie,
Yes.
we got Cassie
And
deep.
Yes.
we have the volunteer match.
Oh, we got a volunteer match. So that really means whatever I donate is going to get double today. That's spectacular. I think people are waiting to see how many I get wrong before they step up. All
I have
right.
faith in you. I think you're
You
going
have-
to do
you
really
have
well.
faith in me.
Yeah.
Well, the better I do, the worse I do. So it's kind of weird. But all right, let's see here. All right. First question, Cassie.
Okay. This year, the North Texas Food Bank is celebrating blank years of serving North Texas.
Well, I'm not a great listener. I'm a bit of a talker, but I do recall my good friend Cody, aka Moneybags over here, Myers, saying that 40 years it's
40
been around. Is 40 correct?
40 is correct.
Yeah.
We had a fantastic birthday party a couple of weeks ago celebrating those 40 years.
Good job.
Nice.
So
I like
$100,
that. I like that.
write that down.
Hundo.
I'm gonna write it
Okay.
right here. I'm making an
All right,
invoice.
let's
as
go.
we
Yes, we go.
He's writing up an invoice. There you go. Very good. Okay.
Oh, wait. I don't think we've talked about this.
Yeah,
I
I
might
think
have to give him the ABC choices.
that's fine. I think that's fine.
Okay. So what percentage of the food that the North Texas Food Bank distributes is purchased?
It's purchased.
So we have 3 different inputs. We get food that's donated, we
Mhm.
get food that's from the government,
Yes.
and then we purchase the rest.
So there's donated, stolen,
Mm-hmm.
and okay. All right. Okay. And what percent is purchased? You're saying.
What percentage
So
is
so
purchased?
and okay. And what percent? Okay. I'm going to ask another. I'm going to ask a question, clarifying question. It's like the Scripps Howard spelling bee.
Yes.
Country of origin.
Can you
Use it in a sentence. What percentage of your dollars goes towards purchasing food? Unless that's one of the questions.
So that's actually put together with all of our operations to get food out. So
Okay.
if you're looking at every dollar that you donate, 94% of that will go to feeding our neighbors. The other is split between management and fundraising
Okay.
expenses.
All right. That is giving me absolutely no help. All right, let's go. Let's go.
But it was a
Let's go,
good try.
Cassie.
It
was a
good
I'm
try.
trying to get to the
Okay.
etymology. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you ready for the
I-
multiple?
yes.
Do you want to phone a friend?
Percentage. I don't think we have that capability. To be honest with you. Yeah.
Phone Jeff.
Yeah, I'll phone Jeff. I'm dying up here. All right. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. A, 12%.
It's got to be more.
B, 32%. C, 62%.
And do you partner with grocery stores?
Mhm. We sure do.
I imagine they donate a lot. Purchased. I'm going to say 32%.
Oh, that's $200 right there.
Oh,
my
The correct answer is 12%.
12%.
Yeah.
Only 12%.
Only
You are-
12%.
You're an amazing organization.
Now
Yes.
I'm going to put an asterisk on that because the last 2 years we had a lot of great support from the
Yes.
US government as we were
Mhm.
coming out of COVID-19.
So-
So we did not have to purchase as much food. as we thought we needed to.
Okay.
Now this year, and the reason that we're kind of excited that we get to invoice an incorrect answer here,
Yes.
we are having to fill a larger gap this year. The needs are higher than they've ever been. And I know we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But that purchasing budget is actually much larger this year.
So this is interesting to me. So if 94% of your dollars raised goes towards operations, and logistics and purchasing food is a big part of your operation, that tells me the logistics is a major expense of your operation.
It takes a lot of money to transport food from being rescued to get back here and to getting it back out. I mean, 13 counties, that's 10,000 square miles here in Texas. I know some of our viewers might not be from Texas. We can drive for 10 hours and still be in the same state.
Yes, you'll be in El Paso.
Yes.
No, that's so super interesting. And hey, shout out to Brandy Thorne. Brandy's saying, I will personally donate $100 USD. Send the details, please. Stacy, can we run that link along the bottom so people can donate? You can donate to the North Texas Food Bank, ntfb.org/give. You can donate to our Move for Hunger drive as well, which is moveforhunger.org/LOVE+RELO2022. That does come with a hat.
That I'm gonna get.
Yes, Cassie needs that hat.
Yes, Cassie needs a hat.
I will take a picture of me at the State Fair on Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
With cans and peanut butter, for sure. Thank you so much, Brandy. If anybody else wants to donate, let's leave those donation details up there. So far, what am I in for?
300.
300.
We still have 3 questions to go, though.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
The Patriots are going to cover. All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
The next one. We have said this. The North Texas Food Bank has a feeding network of blank food pantries and other organizations.
I think I remember what Cody was talking about.
We have said this. I think you might have said it a couple of
I
times.
actually
too.
did.
Multiple
Yes,
times.
yes.
Multiple times.
To be fair, this time of the week, Cassie and I usually are talking in her office, and she
Yes.
also is tuning me out. So this is nothing new
tune-out
for me.
time with Cody. All right. So I think you said, is this a multiple
I
choice
can
question?
give you multiple choices, but you want to think about it for a minute?
I feel like I have a number in my head, but
What
I
if
feel like
somebody out there knows
did
the
somebody
answer?
remember this question? We have
That's
a
like
slight,
phone a
slight
friend,
tape
right?
delay. Yes. I'm going to ask the audience, what is the number of, oh gosh, you are so smart. What is the number of participating partners? What do you call
It
them?
is we've feeding network.
Feeding
of
network.
Food pantries and other organizations.
Food pantries and other
Mhm.
organizations. Other organizations could be like a homeless shelter or like,
Mhm.
okay, cool. All right. So how many are out there? Does anybody want to hazard a guess? This is like, what was that show? Win Ben Stein's money back in the day. It's like lose Ben Cross's money. If anybody wants to hazard a guess, throw it in there. We are on a slight delay here.
That's okay.
It's okay. Sorry, we got time.
We need the Jeopardy music or
We
do.
something.
The internet's free. It's fine. There we go. A little music in there for you people. Here we go. There we go. Does anybody know the answer to this question? How many? Throw a number out there. Hit that like button. This is a little thinking music we got going on here. You like this? Guys, we got little sound effects going here. Really up the game. He's only cost me $900. Yeah, money well spent. That and peanut butter, right? You know, it's a good question. Okay, you know what? We don't have anyone hazarding a guess, which is fine. It's very hazardous. I'm gonna accept your offer of giving me multiple choices.
Okay, so I think if we're giving you multiple choices and you get it right, then because we've given you the multiple choice,
look at
I
this.
think it should be $150 if you get it right.
If I get it right,
Yeah.
Instead of 100, I think it needs to be 150 because we helped you with the answer.
Fine, Cassie.
Okay.
Give me the
I
answers.
drive a hard bargain.
She does.
Okay.
She's good.
She is good.
So A is 200,
200,
B is 400,
400.
C is 600. Now keep in mind, 13 county radius.
I
That's
know.
a lot.
That's a lot of
miles.
partners.
Mhm.
And it looks like you're getting some help in the chat.
Scott
Okay.
Chapman says 200 partner agencies. Do I want to believe Scott? Scott says I'm greater than C-SPAN. So I don't know if I can trust Scott's judgment. Scott, gosh, thanks for playing. For some reason, I had 40 in my brain and 400, 40's in 400. And Cassie wants me to say that, so I think that's probably wrong because she's trying to get all my money.
I don't know.
Is it right? Let's see. Adam saying go C. C was 600. Adam, you didn't even remember the question. Gee, Adam's trying to. They're all trying to get. You know, I'm gonna go. You know, I'm gonna go with Scott. Scott, you're helping me out. Let's see what it's 200.
That would be incorrect. So,
Oh my God.
Scott, we did talk about 200. Feeding America has 200 partners. The North Texas Food Bank proudly supports 400 partner
400.
agents. You were there. I was looking at you. You were making that connection.
gosh.
You were
You
so
were-
close.
My mother always told me to go with my gut feeling. You should have gone with
Well,
the gut
let me tell
feeling.
you what though. This is something else. Look, Scott over here. He's checking the internet, and he's got the receipts. He went on the website.
Jeff, we need to update the website.
Jeff, we need to
yeah.
update the website
Yeah.
here, Jeff.
In all fairness, Scott, we did change that this past year. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I can talk about that a little bit if
Yes.
you'd like.
If you
So,
Talk about the
Yes,
additional
yes.
200 partners.
Yeah.
Make us
So-
look legit.
yes. So during COVID, the speaking point, which you copy and pasted from our website, Scott, thank you for perusing and giving us another hit. Love that. Was 200 partner agencies. Now, during the pandemic, we actually onboarded a lot of new partners and started recognizing some of our partners who were doing a lot of difficult work in their community. So prior to the pandemic, the partner agency was a food pantry. It was a soup kitchen. It was a homeless shelter. But we had a lot of partners step up during the pandemic and said, hey, we have a parking lot and we have 30 volunteers who can help every single week. We want to do a distribution because there's a need in our area. So what we'll do is go back to our hunger index. That's our data-driven model that looks at the 13 counties that we serve. And it's kind of like a heat map. We can actually zone in, we can zoom in on a specific zip code and see what is the unmet need in that area. So when we were getting those phone calls saying, hey, there's a big need in our area, we see all of these people at our church who are needing support, we will use that data to then bring on a new partner who might not have at this time a full brick and mortar pantry, but they are still distributing food on our behalf every single week. So we needed to update that 200 number this year to recognize the work that those feeding partners are doing, because the goal is that as we continue to progress after COVID has finalized or wherever we're at in that pandemic journey, is that they will one day become a full-fledged partner, because those partners actually do wraparound services. So someone might be able to get rental
service.
It's like rental assistance, utility assistance, if someone needs job training. So a lot of our partners will do intake for that family. You know, food is what's bringing them to the pantry for the majority of the issues that our families are having. But we know that hunger is a cause of a bigger issue of poverty, income inequality. So we want our partners to be equipped to do that. Now, we can't do that for all 700,000 of our neighbors, but these partner agencies can, because they're in the community. So I think, thank you for copying and pasting that. I saw Jeff make a note that we're updating the website right after
Adam
It's 5 minutes.
Adam Lowy saying Scott looks like he's copying and pasting from the wrong section. Adam Bianco said Jeff is in trouble. No, gee, come on. No,
you know what?
Jeff.
He might be in
Jeff.
trouble, but we are feeding a lot of people right now. That's 1,500 meals that you've provided.
You're up to
Good night.
$500.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yes. Yes.
$500. Okay, that's exciting. Scott, Scott Scott.
He's technically not wrong. He's just behind the times.
You're just dated, Scott. Scott says, and Scott's not wrong about this. Scott says, Ben, let's get a crew of DFW Relo folks and do a volunteer group.
Yeah.
Scott, what do you want to do? You want to come down here and bag some meals? I mean, you said it was 200 people a day.
200 people a day. So
Scott doesn't even have that many friends.
Well, poor Scott. If
Scott,
he
you're
would
gonna have
come-
a crew.
You know what? Scott could come here and be a volunteer, and then he could become a colonel volunteer,
Colonel.
which is a volunteer that comes on a committed basis, at least 16 hours a month. So that is 4 shifts of volunteer service. And then he could meet a lot of new people and make a lot of new friends.
Yeah.
Scott, you hear that? You can make a lot of friends down here. Come on down. You could be a colonel.
Like the kernel of corn.
Yes.
Like, oh,
yes.
yes.
Oh, I thought it was like Captain Obvious,
No,
Colonel,
Yeah.
Kernel like corn on the cob.
Corn
Major
on the
Gift
cob.
Officer. I
It
thought it
has
was
the
like all these
juice,
are
you
like.
Yeah, it does.
We could tell you all about it.
And see,
Anyone watch
see
that?
those folks out there behind
TikTok.
us? Those are colonels.
Colonels.
Mhm.
You make a ton of
Okay.
friends.
A
A
ton of friends.
friends.
Scott,
yes.
we should do it. It'd be fun. He's saying, yes, sir. Sign me up, sir. I'm a colonel. No, we should. We should get the NTRP. We just had the North Texas Relocation Professionals Conference last week. Probably had 150 people over in Carrollton. We'll probably have 200 next year. We should do a community event, maybe the night before. Have everybody come in. We could probably, how many hours you put in when you work here?
Usually it's a 3-hour shift, but
3-hour
really it ends
shift.
up being about 2.5 hours. By the time we
2
open
hours
up,
of work.
check
That's like how
in,
most people go to work.
yeah,
They waste an
yeah.
hour, work 2 hours, get coffee, go to the restroom. Yeah, so 3 hours of work. So we could do
Actually,
it.
it's 2.5 hours of work. We open up the registration, the check-in. So it's technically
Gotcha.
it's like 3 hours, but it's 2.5 hours
Okay.
of legit work.
So
Yes.
we could be here for 3 hours, slough
Mhm.
off for half an hour, work 2.5, and then we go get some cocktails afterwards because we're all going to
Yeah.
hang out and drink anyway before. So we might as well do this so we can work a little bit, feel better about hanging out, drinking later,
Yeah.
and then we can roll right into the conference next year. Somebody write that down. I think it's a brilliant idea.
And you could do a whole canned food drive and fundraising campaign as part of it too.
You do all the bells and whistles.
All the bells.
We got you taken
We-
care
yes,
of. One-stop shop.
And you can invite Cody and Cassie.
Well, I think Cassie will already be here because it's the volunteer.
It is
shift.
the but I need people to help me though too. So
Yeah, no, this sounds
we can
great.
even set you up for an evening volunteer shift, which is a special thing. Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
look at
Yes.
this. You're
Uh-huh.
getting a major
special
donor
treatment.
treatment right
Yeah.
now.
I like this.
Look at
Let's
that.
go. This is
More
evening.
questions.
Oh, see, she's really trying. She's all in my pocket. All right, Cassie. Let's see what you got, Cassie.
Okay.
Ooh, take it easy,
Okay.
Cassie.
Okay. So the DFW region is the blank highest in the nation for food insecurity.
I'm going to throw you a bone here.
You said
There's-
it before.
Yes. So I said the North Texas area food bank. There are 13
Oh.
counties, but if you added Fort Worth in
Yes.
there,
Oh, they hungry out there. All right.
And we could give him another little
Top. You said top.
Yeah,
top.
where the way the question reads, the DFW region is the blank highest in the nation for food insecurity. So it's a number. So are we the first? Are we the second? Are we the third? Are we the fourth, the fifth? Are we the 20th?
Are you gonna be charging me for the multiple choices this whole time, or is this? part
Okay,
of your
I'm going to
deal?
give you.
I'm going to throw you a bone. We're in the top 5.
I thought you said 4. I thought you said 4.
You're stuck on 4, man.
You
I
really
am
do
stuck
like
on
4s.
that.
What is
Well, it
up
was
with
right.
that?
It was right before.
Yeah.
No,
Well-
no pun.
Okay.
No pun.
I'm going to throw you another bone there because 4 is not the right answer
Yeah.
this time.
But
You-
I
you
can
literally
give
gave me
you
4
5
other
options.
chances.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay, but we can give you
20% chance.
We can give him one other thing.
New York City is first.
Uh-huh.
And
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 I
you said
gave you the
LA was
list.
1,
Uh-huh.
so it had to be 3.
Dun,
Good
dun,
job.
dun.
There you go.
Nice. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
So I'm writing it down. It's
All right.
100,
That's
right?
awesome.
Oh, you guys are counting that for me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
you
wait,
guys
wait,
are
I'm
too
telling
good.
I have the invoice already
too
made out.
good.
I've,
Okay, so
Yeah.
blank check. Do you remember that movie? That Disney Channel
Oh,
movie,
wait.
Blank Check?
we should go get our blank check.
Oh
Go and
my
fill it out
gosh.
for
Oh
him.
my God. Is this like one of the with the
Yes,
markers?
Yeah,
we can do
yeah,
that.
we could
have
do
that
that
done
for you.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
So I could have like 400 more, probably $800 on a blank check. All right, let's see. What do we got?
Okay, so
This is the last question.
This is the last question.
Drew
Okay.
Phillips. Drew, I love you, Drew. Drew said 6. Drew, you just work on the hydration, okay? You come to the NTRP, work on the hydration. It'll be a good time. All right.
Okay.
Last question
The
here.
last
question,
This is
y'all.
big
Here we
money,
go.
No whammies.
Big money, no whammies.
Okay. The North Texas Food Bank provided access to blank meals last year.
We have not
said
talked
this.
about this. So how many
Gosh.
meals do you think that we provided access to?
Well, if $1's 3 meals, but y'all don't purchase most of your meals, you get them you get 80,
Yeah.
88%
Does anyone-
are either donated or stolen.
Do you have like the meme of the lady doing all the math in her
And,
head?
and none of it's even
Yes.
remotely accurate.
You want to
I
flash it to
you know,
real quick?
I
I think we could give a multiple choice for this one
Yeah,
because
this
it's
one's rough.
yeah.
This one is rough. And I think if we gave you the multiple choice,
I would
you
hope
would
you
win.
would get it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Please.
So 13,700 meals. These were the number of meals that
Oh,
we
come on.
provided.
It's
Okay.
more than that. I feel like I'm going to do that
Okay.
now on the show right now.
B is 137,000 meals.
I see where you're going with this. And the next one's going to be what? Is it 13 million?
No, it's more than that.
Is it? Because
It's 137 million.
well, it's really 136.9. If Scott
Okay,
if Scott Chapman's
Scott is still on the website. Scott, oh my gosh.
Scott was probably a cheater in school, wasn't he?
Hey, he is
hey,
using
yeah.
the resources available
if
to
you ain't
him.
cheating, you ain't trying. Okay. All right. Okay.
No.
You know, I'm gonna have to go with C.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah,
correct.
that's 136, and that's actually a record for us, even more so than 2020 during the pandemic. So
Nice.
which is exciting for us that we were able to meet the need, but
Mhm.
really sobering that many meals are
That
missing
need
in our
is even
community.
out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. So that number is comprised of two pieces. So one of those is food, like physical food that we distributed. We also have a fantastic team of SNAP associates. So we have a team of 30.
Snack associates.
SNAP.
Not snack.
Yeah. With
Those are
a
my
We
first
love
job after
snacks.
college was snacks.
Yes. So Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It's a government program. So we have a team of 30 that helps families in the community who are eligible for government benefits access those. So some of those meals are represented in that number as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hit that like button out there if you've learned something. If you want to get involved, put it in the comments. I would love to know ways that you've gotten involved, you know, addressing food insecurity in your community. If you've done anything, I'd love any ideas you have because I definitely want to get more involved. I kind of want to get my kids involved. Is there a way to get my kids involved here? Can I just leave them with y'all? I mean, how does that
We
work?
do have some people that try that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I
Just let them
tell
go crazy in the peanut
Yeah,
butter
yeah,
aisle? No,
no,
it doesn't work?
no.
Okay.
So we definitely have families that do come in and volunteer. Our age is 12 in order to volunteer here on the production floor because there is a lot of moving parts and things like that. We want to
5 plus 7 is 12.
No,
If
that's
they
not how
come
that
on their
works.
shoulders with a trench coat.
He's doing Cassie math over here. But there are other opportunities, other ways that you can get involved as a family. So that could be doing a canned food drive. That could be, you know, having your kids also give financially, taking different portions out of their little piggy bank, helping them do some of those types of little fundraising campaigns. But we do have all different types of groups that come in and volunteer, whether it's a corporate group, whether it's a faith-based group, whether it's individuals. There are all different kinds that come through here and volunteer. And so, and then during the summertime, we started up a junior colonel program, and that is for high school students. Love working with kids. And so they get to come in, and really what that program is about is obviously getting them to a colonel position, but getting them to understand what food insecurity is really all about and beginning that lifetime of service, of giving back to their community no matter where they are. So we welcome those kiddos as well.
I love it. And I love your lieutenant colonel program that you have there. I think that's really cool. And I do agree that when you start kids young and you show them that, you know, it's a part of life to give back, and you set that, you know, example for them, and they see you doing it. It's not something that you talk about. It's something that you show them about and you demonstrate that. You know, I think that's something my father did for me, you know, when I was young. Is, you know, we would go down and we would, you know, he was a minister actually. And so he would go preach at homeless shelters and things like that. And then he became a counselor and would work with people who had mental illness and family and children's services. And we're always, you know, doing things like that and being attuned to the needs of our community and our neighbors. And I think that there's something about that sticks with you when you grow up. So, you know, I think if we want to raise amazing adults, I think we have to start to impart these kind of values at a young age. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We do have a second way to do that. If there are any parents of young children in the chat, the North Texas Food Bank, to celebrate our 40th anniversary, actually published our first children's book called Hunger Bugs Me. You guys can also find that on our website, ntfb.org, but it takes place in Jan's Garden, which you can actually see
What is
these
Jan's Garden?
It's our community garden. So it serves two purposes. We have a full-time gardener out there, but we help educate some of our children through educational videos on where their food comes from. It just doesn't show up in the refrigerator, and also introducing them to different types of fruits and vegetables and getting healthy eating habits started young.
Please introduce my kids to fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
I would pay you for that. That's a service for the community. Yes. Introduce my kids to a vegetable, please.
But also our senior community, if you're on a fixed income, gardening is a great therapeutic way to supplement your pantry staples and your pantry needs. But the book takes place in Jan's garden. It follows this group of bugs that live in Jan's garden, and they find out one day that their friend Butterfly doesn't have enough food to eat. So they go on a quest throughout the garden to find out how they can make sure that all bugs have enough food in their community. And what I love about it is it's not, one bug telling another bug, oh, your parents drive a nice car. If they just sold that car, you guys could get more food. It's really Butterfly coming up with the solution that's going to work for her and her family.
Wow.
So there's some supplemental worksheets and coloring sheets that your kids can take advantage of to kind of start that conversation, because it's not an easy conversation, especially if you come from a place of abundance, to have your child know that there might be a kid in your class that doesn't have what you have. So it's a very sensitive topic. We're aware of that. So we put together some supplemental tools to start that conversation and really to kind of ingrain those values even before they can join Cassie's junior Colonel program.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I would love to, can I buy the book? How does that work?
Yeah. So you can buy it on ntfb.org. I don't know if we're shipping internationally, but we would ship, throughout the United States. So.
Yeah, no, I would love to buy it. I got to make a note of that. Please go buy that book. Check it out. It's on ntfb.org. We do have people checking in from the UK who cannot have the book. Richard Majewski, I'd like to shout out. Chuck's Uicha, who's a service department operator in the UK, but has done masses of work with food banks in Kent, UK over the past 2 years. Just thinking in terms of any way you can collaborate, even with ideas. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that coming in from London. Thanks for staying up late and watching the show. As always, Richard, good friend of the show. Adam Bianco saying, absolutely loving this episode of Love and Real. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. I appreciate you all so much out there. Let everybody know we're on right now. He says, thanks, NTFB, for all you do. We at Move for Hunger, I would love working with the North Texas Food Bank. We've helped deliver over 700,000 pounds of food over the years. And I would echo that to say, it sounds like logistics is really one of the biggest challenges that food banks encounter. And from the relocation perspective, when you're thinking about moving companies and logistics companies and things like that, we are uniquely positioned to lend a hand. Do you partner with moving companies and transportation providers in the area? Yeah,
so that's actually a big need of ours, especially as we enter the holiday season. I would really encourage people reach out to Cassie to coordinate that, because we have an influx of canned food drives that happen with our companies and community members. And as much as we would like to go travel across our 13 counties to pick up all of that food, sometimes it isn't feasible. Especially we have a no empty miles policy here at the food bank. So our fleet always has food, whether it's coming from a grocery store or being delivered to one of our pantry partners. So it always isn't possible for us to pick up every single canned food drive. So Cassie has some volunteer opportunities for you.
Absolutely. And even, I mentioned the Great State Fair of Texas.
Yes.
And we'll go back to that concept too, because that is our largest canned food drive. Last year, it brought in over 200,000 pounds of food. We anticipate that going up again this year. And so we've reached out to some of our partner agencies to see if they can get some of their trucks out there. We started doing this last year with some other moving companies, just because, as Cody said, it's not always feasible to have our trucks work that into their schedule, because we're open to close out there. So we're getting back up here with our trucks at midnight, and we've been down there since 6 a.m. So, even those types of needs are there. So we can definitely put you to good use.
Yeah, no, that's great. So if you're with a moving company, or you know somebody in the moving business, or if you're with a furniture rental company, I know y'all have trucks as well. Especially, I've picked up food from food drives before, big watermelon containers full of canned goods and everything like that. And I've driven them in a moving truck before. You do probably need a lift gate on your truck. Otherwise, you're up a creek, as we say, down here. So make sure if you have a truck that has a lift gate, especially, a straight truck, 26 footer, something like that, you can definitely put 6 or 8 pallets of food in there. So let's see here. Drew saying, can you use boxes, pallets, etc., or just trucks and hands?
I think trucks and hands probably will be the most needed right now. If y'all have an influx of boxes, we might pair you with one of our partner agencies. A lot of our boxes are purchased to be branded so that the neighbors know where their food is coming from, and there's that kind of brand image. But some of our smaller partners definitely need those boxes because they have, product that they need to get packaged. So you could always start with us. Sometimes the answer might be yes, and sometimes the answer might be, let me get you in contact with one of those 400 partners.
But we rarely leave you with a no.
Yes.
We usually always find a solution.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. And then Scott Chapman's over here putting a link in here. Scott, is that a link to the book? Let me know. I think it is. I think that's the link to the book. Hey, thanks, Scott. Appreciate you being on top of things there. You mentioned a seniors program.
Yes.
Love my grandmother. She was a Texan. She was from Dallas, so made me a Dallas Cowboys fan. And
we're winning the Super Bowl, by the way.
I-
We got one. We
We
got
said
one win,
quarterback,
and
okay?
we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
We always are. We always are. And so, I go to Grammy's house, and she'd make me pecan pie with pecans from the yard, and I always loved her cooking. But then when she got older, her cooking really went downhill fast, and then I got way to a point where I got worried about her. What are you doing with seniors to make sure that they're not food insecure? Because there's some of the toughest folks out there, and you don't even know when they're hurting or in need oftentimes because they're so focused on other people and giving and everything. What do you do to help seniors?
Well, we have one main program that we partner with the U.S. government on. If you've heard of the government cheese box before, that is still assembled. We have about 8,000 seniors that take advantage of that program through our CSFP box program. Cassie's team produces those. Which days are you building those, by the way?
Well, it depends. Like I said, this week it's mostly produce. So it depends on the need because there are different builds that we do. So this particular week, I don't believe we're doing any CSFP, but next week we'll be back to doing some of that. So we have certain quotas that we have to meet each month, not only for the CSFP program, but also the Food for Kids, family boxes, all these different builds. And that's where those volunteers come in because we have to meet quotas.
And that second program would be that SNAP team that we talked about before. Our senior population are often living on fixed incomes. If you think about retirement, if you think about Social Security, right now, those populations of people are being hurt more than ever because of inflation. Their paycheck is not, their Social Security check is not getting, an adjustment. They're not getting a raise. So those dollars are actually going not as far at the grocery store, and they're having to make impossible decisions. Do I pay for food this month, or do I pay for my medications, or do I pay for my rent this month at my retirement home? And that's a decision that no one should have to make. So when we talked earlier about stigma, that is something that we are constantly trying to combat with our senior population. They often tell our team that they are afraid to sign up for benefits because they don't want to take food away from someone else. Even if they might be in need themselves, they don't want to take food from a child or a family, thinking that they can still get by. So we partner with a number of churches in that partner agency network to help us try and communicate, the money is there for you because you're in need as well.
But to your point about CSFP, those distributions, those don't happen here. We do have, basically, if you can think of it like a mobile distribution, and those are teams that need extra volunteers, and you can find those volunteer opportunities on our site as well.
Really?
And they're not, they're located within the 13 county.
Is that like
area.
delivering food to people's homes?
Well, we do partner with DoorDash for that as well. But these are like a mobile distribution where it might be going to a senior citizen center. It might be going to a community. But they need help with doing intake because it is a government program. So you do have to qualify on certain levels. So they need further assistance from a volunteer capacity as well.
Okay. Richard's asking a question here. Richard from the UK says, has there been an increase in the use of food banks by white collar workers in the past couple of years? Richard, how do you define white collar? Do you mean like office workers, professionals? Like, curious about that. But I think where he's going has the demographics of food insecurity changed?
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
To Cody's point earlier, you had talked about the volume of people that we saw during the pandemic, and that 40% of those were first-time users. Basically, they needed the program. I work a lot of Saturdays with my team because we have volunteers that are here, and it seems like every Saturday I go home with another story of a family or a person that looks exactly like me, or exactly like my parents, or exactly like you and Cody, who are coming here after working all week long, and they don't have enough money for food. I've seen college students coming in here and us trying to help them as well. So it's very much, I think from our perspective, a different look. As I said earlier, there's food insecurity is in every zip code, every zip code. It's just sometimes hidden so well that we don't actually always see it.
And I would say to Richard's point, we really do serve the working poor here at the North Texas Food Bank. That would be, probably more on the blue collar side where they have one or two jobs, and at the end of the month, they don't have enough money for food. But that does not exclude white collar workers. Now, some of our programs, if we're getting food from the government or through government programs, there are qualifications that the family needs to be a certain level below the federal poverty line. So they wouldn't qualify for some of the food that we have if they're in that white collar job. But I remember during the pandemic, we were doing a mobile distribution at Fair Park, and I had a gentleman come who was dressed pretty well, like he had just come from work, and he brought his own grocery bags. He wanted us to take the food out of our branded Ntfd boxes and put them in his grocery bags because he didn't want his family to know that he had waited in line for an hour and a half to get their food that week. So it really, it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Hunger can show up.
Wow. That's, yeah, I was just talking to somebody, in this business entrepreneurs group, and this guy's business wasn't doing so well. He's a business owner, wasn't doing so well. He just sold his family's home, just trying to stay, and he's an entrepreneur, he's a business owner, CEO of a company.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you really never know what the face of financial insecurity, food insecurity looks like. This has been amazing. It's been touching. It kind of gives me chills, kind of brings a tear to my eye thinking about this stuff. I wanted to just give you opportunity to just leave us with a final thought as we close here. Cassie.
Well, as I said, the North Texas Food Bank is here to stand in the gap. So you can help by standing in the gap with us, whether it's giving your time, whether it's giving your financial resources, whether it's telling others, using your voice to go out there in your community and tell the stories that you know. It's imperative that people, continue to know about hunger. Hunger's always been around, and it's going to continue, unfortunately.
Yeah, thank you for that. Cody, final thought?
I think I would echo Cassie. The use of our voices is often underutilized. So there are a lot of times that we can stand up and tell a story, whether that's to a friend, whether that's to someone who might be in need, and helping them find assistance in a way that works best for them. But also here in Texas, we're entering a legislative cycle. So if hunger is unacceptable to you like it is to us, you can get involved by lending your voice and helping us make sure that none of our programs are cut, and that we receive the funding that we need to help our neighbors in need.
Awesome. Yeah. So there you go out there. Lend your voice. Make sure people know that you support organizations like the Ntfd. Continue supporting Move for Hunger. Get involved, you and your family, in your community. And if you're part of a company, which I know you all are, or if you run a company, make sure you get involved corporately, right? It's an excellent place to do a team building event. It's an excellent way for your team and to focus on what's important and kind of find purpose. Purpose-driven organizations always outperform those that don't have a purpose. So come down and get a purpose. Thank you so much, Cody and Cassie and Jeff and everybody here at the NTFB.
Yes.
It's really been it's been wonderful spending our last Wednesday of Hunger Action Month with you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.